Hi, my friends. Further to my ad hoc statement, let me tell you this. The start of this proceeding against me was the kidnapping, of course, in Mexico. That was conducted by the very same people who wrote the criminal complaint against me at the behest of the German Domestic Intelligence Service, and instrumental in this whole thing was the prosecutor, young prosecutor John. This is how it all started, but the idea behind it was to shut me down. This is all in the file, in the prosecution's case file. The idea behind it was to shut me down because of my corona pandemic investigative work. Now this has evolved, and then of course came the sentence on March the 24th after a long list of crimes committed by the judge and the prosecution. One of those crimes is a procedural crime. They kept the defense from getting their witnesses heard. They refused to hear any of our witnesses. Then they substituted or exchanged the original charges for brand new ones that were freely invented. It was a crime in and of itself. So this was all about free speech, because the work that I did on the Corona Investigative Committee and then for ICIC was clearly free speech. It was investigating what's behind the pandemic, and obviously that was a plandemic. The third stage is where we're at right now, and that is I'm in a prison where I can make phone calls. I can talk to my wife every day, at least up until today, because over the past couple of months, the other side was no longer trying to keep me from getting the truth about the pandemic out, but now they're down to, we've got to cover our behinds, let's put it that way. Because obviously, it was dangerous for them to be involved in two very serious crimes. The first one was that they...
Die Gesprächszeit ist in 1 Minute zu Ende. Bitte beenden Sie Ihr Gespräch.
So the first one was that they stole my money, not just the people who filed the criminal complaint at the behest of the German Domestic Intelligence Service, but together with the prosecution. And then they had me kidnapped. The same people, the very same people. And now they're trying to pressure the prison to keep me from speaking out at all. They're trying to keep me from making any phone calls except twice a week, 20 minutes, monitored by the prison officials with my wife, and that's it. Now we've got to rise up, and I will. I have a brand new team that'll really... So we were just interrupted because this telephone service is particularly bad. But here's one more thing that I think the public needs to know. A few months ago, I think over half a year ago, in fact, in February of this year, of 2025, a report on 60 Minutes, CBS's 60 Minutes, really made the headlines. I think there were 3 German prosecutors who were accompanied by a team, an embedded team of journalists, I suppose, from CBS. And they were with them when early in the morning, the door of a regular citizen was kicked in by a SWAT team. And the reason for this was that I think a 64-year-old man with a daughter with Down syndrome. So to make a long story short, the 60 Minutes report on 3 German prosecutors who were laughing their heads off because they were having fun hunting down innocent people who were simply sharing memes that made fun of politicians. This video or this report on 60 Minutes really made the headlines. A lot of people got very angry, and this is one of the things that caused, I think, J.D. Vance and Rubio to explain to the Germans. J.D. Vance said it at the Munich Security Conference in, I believe that was in February too. He told them that German democracy is in danger because they're trying to kill freedom of speech. And it's exactly what happened in my case. That's why they tried to take me down in the first place. And that's why they're now trying to make me shut up so that people will not know who is involved in this. Because the funny thing is, one of the 3 prosecutors who was in this video, in this report, 60 Minutes report, was instrumental in getting in touch with the prison, asking them to shut me down completely so that I would only be able to make 2 phone calls a week, 20 minutes each, monitored by the prison officials, so that I would not be able, of course I can still speak to my lawyers, but so that I would not be able to disclose who is involved in this. These very same people, the very same people who stole my money, more than €1 million, and who had me kidnapped, are now trying to shut me up so that I will not be able to mention their name. But there you have it. Too late, you guys. We've got you. We've got you by the you-know-what. Okay, thanks, my friends. I'm still standing, and I continue to stand. See you all later.